Greetings and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here live on Speed Zone TV. We are returning to you here live down on the track here in Kentucky Speedway in Sparta, Kentucky, as we are now presenting to you the Palmetto Racing League here in the Truck Series Season 2 live down here in Kentucky Speedway. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show here. Great to see everybody on hand. Good lineup of drivers here today looking to try and make or break a season shot at the lineup here. Going to be missing a couple drivers in this one here due to personal circumstances or injury here. So we'll have our top 10 drivers now on the lineup here. Let's take a look at our starting lineup here. Piling in number 11 will be Ricky DeRoger, the outside of them. And then number 45 is Brent Thompson. Row number 3 is going to be the 9. Austin Ziegler, the outside, will be the number 12 of Andrew Ziegler. Row number 6 is the throttle Chantel Bottle. And the 05, the outside, and that 001 is going to be Doyle Boyd. Row number 4 is the 83 of Joshua Fix. The outside, 995, that is Matthew Corley. And finally, row number 5 is the 99, Stanley Pottle. On the outside of them, and that number 53, shotgun in the field, David Martin. That's our starting lineup for tonight. 10 drivers ready to reel in and ring a ding and down on the track here. Big opportunities here and a lot of openings here to really figure out what they can do under the table, what they can bring to the track. Sparta, Kentucky Speedway going to be a very interesting track here. Again, this place going to really be kind of dialing up a little more towards the bottom lane, but look for drivers to kind of shoot around for the outside or some middle ground if you can. Not a whole lot of open lanes here and not a whole lot of area to really work with. You're going to see a lot of guys and gals really just kind of finding the tempo and finding the pace and then looking for opportunities where they can. Definitely tight circuit. Less multi-groove, more find the racing groove. Off on turn number 3 of the 4 this time on by. We're going to send him on back down this time and reel him down here for some racing action. Palmetto Racing League now set on the tone. Truck Series at Kentucky Speedway. And DeRozier will get the early run out of the gate. Austin Ziegler right behind him there with Brent Thompson, Chantel Throttle Puddle, Andrew Ziegler as well, and Joshua Fix even in that top 6 bracket. 6 drivers right now looking for the lead early. Thompson up high, up wide. Maybe looking for a little bit of a runoff there on the outside lane. We'll try to pinpoint and pitch down the bottom there. Very interesting layout, this Kentucky Speedway. Again, there's a bit of a slight dog leg entering into turn number 1. You'll see the drivers, they constantly go around the turns around the circuit. They're going to be making some critical maneuvers and some critical decisions, whether or not to stay low from the dog or go a little higher to gain more speed. The difference is really the tire wear and as well as the overall conservation of your speed and momentum. Ricky DeRozier, I'm not sure what's going on with that number 11, but he is slowing down off the pace here. He'll push himself into pit road. Not the strategy call I would have assumed. Maybe something going wrong inside his cockpit. Maybe he needs to get the pit crew to go in and fix that. We'll see what happens here. He's got a lot of work to do now, though, as he's going to have a very tough pit stop he's going to be taking. Back on the race lead right now, Brent Thompson is currently right up ahead here as the Ziegler boys, 9 and 12, Austin and Andrew, respectively, going mano-a-mano down there with the throttle Chantel Bottle. We're going to try to take some rounds out here and look to fight for some good supremacy here. Again, it really kind of hinders on whether or not the long run or the short run will be put into use. Those drivers that look for short, they're going to take their shots and take their moments quickly, as it is a very difficult passing track in terms of actually what they can do. Again, this is the new circuit of Kentucky, not the old surface. I can tell because number 1 of the background colors and number 2 because of the less wear and tear on the track and the fact that we were under the lights. Old Kentucky did not have that in iRacing. I'm saying it couldn't do it in real world. But one thing that really kind of strikes me odd and kind of really is a big positioning point too, we got to think about too, again, is really with where they're aiming and where that banking kind of travels to. Again, you get more runoff in 1 and 2 where you can almost kind of full send, full throttle, but 3 and 4, it's really a bit of a dime in the needle in the haystack. It's a bit of a dime backed off corner that really forces the drivers to slow down. Not so much hit the brake, but rather just get off the gas and kind of lay low down the bottom lane and not overshoot the exit. But The longer it goes, the more wear and tear that right front and that right rear especially is going to feel as they torque the trucks around and more on the spot. And the more of that torque they give, it's going to really end up kind of giving one driver over the other more of an opportunity and less of a chance kind of make or break their day and take control where their racing line is. So really you got to think carefully and you really got to be very knowledgeable about what you're at and what you're doing in terms of lane conditions and the way the truck travels around the track. As you can see now, Joshua Fix is going head to head there a little bit with Andrew and Austin Ziegler here. He's really pushing that momentum up and trying to build some power up while David Martin is also going up ahead with the 95 of Matthew Corley. And at 53, there is the other Martin there. Excuse me, that was Boyd. That was Boyd I was trying to talk about in the 001. Doyle Boyd. And it's honestly not too often I get to see him kind of playing it down there. Hey, we got a little look at the old 99 there. The youngster Riley Pottle just barely figuring out the world of racing and getting some time in the seat. And the fact right now, honestly, hasn't really slowed up too much and actually he's keeping pretty good pace, all things considered. You got to give the youngster credit right now. He's actually not doing too bad there in that souped up scheme there he's got going on. That scheme reminisces of one of his favorite cars he sees on the track at his local speedway down there in eastbound at Motorsports Park or International Park. Back around the field right now. There is your race leader right now, Brent Thompson, the number 45. And man, you got to give this guy some of his due. He has been absolutely on it all season round. Finally got it done and dialed in last week. Got the victory when he was looking for it most, managing to hold off a hard charging Pottle, Andrew Ziegler, and Shriver. And if you're wondering where that old dead man is, he unfortunately has been out with an injury for tonight. Said he needed to heal up with his left arm having issues from work as well as some stuff he was working on the hood. So he is hoping to return for the season opener at Lightning Esports tomorrow night. That should be an interesting one as well. Here you'll see on our channel. All back around the track right now. There you see Austin Ziegler there in the 9 here. Last time out had a bit of a rough race there. Got himself into trouble coming down and around on some drivers. And next thing you know, some racing ordeals turned into the truck won't go anymore. Trying to really focus and strategize up something right now. It looked like kind of at the out of the gate, they looked like they were trying to go for that short, quick, speedy run. It looks like now maybe they're trying to kind of tempo the speed here, go towards maybe a longer run rather than trying to do that short run, or maybe they had overdone it a little bit out of the gate and that's starting to cause them some problems here. We'll have to see there as they continue around the track, but there is a lot, and I do mean a lot, of timing and area that these drivers need to make sure they don't go too crazy with and too all over the place. Otherwise, it will cost them big time here. Continuing to pull the reins back and continuing to pull the drive on around here. Multiple drivers right now just trying to get a bit of a pace, trying to get a bit of a groove going. And I got to believe, honestly, probably also very focused and driven to nail down their time, nail down their turns, and nail down their runs. So much at stake here again, so much on the line. You got to believe in just everything that they do and what they're after right now. They were just dead set and focused to try and get the best out of their equipment, trying to get the best out of what they can do. Pit stops on around there. Looks like for Joshua Fix, Doyle Boyd, Matthew Corley, and David Martin. And looks like their race leader is going to head to pit road now, the number 45, Brent Thompson. I've been told down there are about 15 to 14 laps of fuel they're getting. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see those that went in much later, how they will handle in terms of the course, in terms of the drive here. Riley Powell also going to get himself into pit road. And again, we got to remind you guys at home, again, we don't He literally, oh, look out down there. Ricky DeRozier trying to get into pit road quick, and now that's a little bit of a stumble and a fumble into the road. My word. The rear end slipped, braked too hard. That rear end had no grip, and unfortunately, that front was the only thing he had, and ends up swinging it straight into the pit wall there. I was just about to say, like, you got to kind of keep in mind with Riley there. He's just a young little lad just learning this ropes. He's not even old enough to drive, in the real world, let alone be in this kind of seat that most people would think to put him in, but he is still trying to perform at a high level and trying to get things figured out for the future. We'll see how well that does. Is Ricky DeRozier now is going to need to, well, let's just say try to find a way to get himself out of this anchor hole he just put himself back in. That's going to be a tough spot for him. Brent Thompson right now up on the outside lane trying to keep momentum up as verging down. Pottle says right now, honestly, she's feeling really good off of turn number 1 and 2. Thompson probably not realizing too much, but it seems 3 and 4 is her kryptonite. She's saying right now to her crew chief. She's trying to figure out a way to get around it and get it dialed in down there. Brent Thompson right now still your race leader. And again, we talked about how hard it is to pass and how hard it is to get some moves going here. Really the biggest issue again of contention is that 1 and 2. Like turn 1 and 2, if you're in that draft line, you got enough speed to kind of catch them back off. But the problem is you lose a lot of that coming into the entry of turn number 3, because again, you got only 2 ways to go about it. You can do what Thompson's doing, that's drive wide and risk tearing up the tires more and get more speed off, or you go down the bottom lane, let it loose a little bit, let the truck kind of settle back down, and then as it comes off, kind of rotate the truck back up towards the wall as close as you can, and then kind of nail it down from there. It's a very fragile line that each one of these drivers is currently trying to figure out and trying to put together on the track. Joshua Fix, number 83, putting the VB Racing machine out today, and you see Aaron Vogt as well. He is not currently on the circuit today. He is, I believe, currently out with some personal situations, so we wish him the best. Hope Aaron will be back with us here next week. But what that'll do for the points is if one of these drivers can end up getting a good foothold like Fix or Pottle, man, that's going to definitely crease into his lead he had. And you know how tight that battle was between him and Pottle. So I guarantee you Pottle is looking to get a win if she can get it here. Burning it back. We're going to burn it right back on down, though. As you see there is the 001 Doyle Boyd. He is currently trying to catch up to that number 9 Napa Auto Parts machine of Austin Ziegler. The Jags number 0001. Currently in a bit of a Ziegler sandwich, if you will, as the U.S. Air Force Afterburner number 12 machine trying to burn up fuel and burn up some steam to catch back into this. Got to be thinking last time out just came up oh so short. Still frustrated about that one there in Charlotte, I guarantee you. But nevertheless, he's been keeping his own, holding his own down on the track. So he's looking to try and make do and make use of it. Looking back up to the front of the pack right now, looks like we got a lead change going on there. Thompson and Pottle. Now here you go. Here's your battle here. Great drive right out of the gate on the inside lane there. Thompson trying to hold the outside. Pottle looking for the in lane. Inside, back and forth, side by side. Good drive off from both. Thompson will have a slight advantage on the exit, but it will be Pottle who looks to be using using the nails into the coffin and trying to scratch and claw her way out of this mess she's in. Pulls up a good run there. Now entering through turn number 1 and 2. Again, bottom lane and middle groove where you want to be. If you're on the outside there, you'll slow up the bottom, but you lose entry and you lose speed off that. The bottom can use that to their advantage. Now comes the tough part here, trying to figure out which way do you go here in 3 and 4. Slight advantage for the throttle. Pottle has got a good drive off there as she nails down that lane. The Fox Racing 05 going mano a mano down there with that darked up Star Wars style scheme there of the 45. Continuing to try and find his level and trying to find his playing field. No give or quit here from either driver. And I guess if you want to add the manufacturer battle into it all as well, it's Chevy versus Ford in this long run fight out strategy kind of game. And I got to ask this all the time too. Like, is there a difference between the manufacturers in terms of their body templates as well as what they use on the track? Well, to be honest with you, from what I understand as well from learning about NASCAR and learning from everything there, is that the body templates actually don't really give an advantage on most tracks, if any. And I don't, even with Dodge coming in, or Ram, excuse me, coming into the truck series this season, which I guarantee you, iRacing is just itching at the bit to get that truck onto the surface. It'd be pretty crazy to see when we got four of those bad boys out on the circuit here. But nevertheless, here, no, the only difference that really it is that they are a spec template, but they all run a different kind of body scheme on the front. So the front of the nose is the only thing that's different on each truck, whether it's the Fords, the Toyotas, the Chevys, and now the Rams. The only other major concern and difference really is that the engines are literally supplied by the manufacturers themselves. So again, that the running those Ford engines, those Chevy engines, Toyota engines, and Ram engines, that's the only other big difference. And my word, does it make such a interesting lineup and interesting drive off for a lot of these drivers that are constantly in that throttle and in that level playing field, just trying to figure out what is best to do and what is best to use. Rolling them right back down around onto the circuit here. Every driver for themselves, nobody giving an inch and nobody wanting to let off the other. Andrew Ziegler and Austin Ziegler right now trying to get ahead there of Joshua Fix. Probably maybe just looking for a lane or a roll here. Fix going to the bottom lane, kind of what we saw a little earlier there from Thompson as well as Pottle. And you can see Austin Ziegler getting the better of the two there from Andrew and almost Joshua there. Joshua gave him a little bit of an opening using that draft line. Pounding away at the momentum and pounding away at the throttle. Way up high there through the 12, and now he's going to have to try to make up for it. That is way too high off the entry and extremely way too high off that exit for turn number 1 and 2. And you can just tell, too, how much that affected the number 12 just trying to gain back that rhythm. It did so much that allowed Doyle Boyd to get into the mix there as Joshua Fix will send it down into pit road. Back onto the lane here right now. Doyle Boyd was hoping that Fix would kind of stay in that spot there to give him a chance to kind of fight it here with the Ziegler boys. Austin right now behind that 12 of Andrew, and he is moving the chains further and further away. They are all hunting down your race leaders right now. The throttle, Santa Bottle, and Brent Thompson at 45. Will they be able to get it figured out and put to good use? We'll see here soon enough. A big thank you to our sponsors today as well for bringing us on to the show here. That is VB Racings and Workman Outdoors. Again, sponsored in part by VB Racings and Workman Outdoors, is bringing you tonight's action for Speed Zone TV for Palmetto Racing League. A big thank you to the sponsors, Workman Outdoors and VB Racing. And down to the tracks right now. DeRozier going to go right off down into the grass and into the pit side there. Pit stops for him. The throttle Chantel Paddle going to continue to maintain the lead. Man, I tell you what, right now, drivers and fans like these guys and gals absolutely finding themselves in a tough road and battle here for supremacy. And again, you got to think too, again, a lot of them are very experienced, but perhaps maybe inexperienced on really dealing with those long, short runs that they are given in terms of the fuel mileage. We talk so much about fuel and tire strategies and conservation in these races, and for good reason. When you see numerous drivers struggling to kind of get past that old mindset from the officials that are really about a short run, quick and done, these guys and gals are literally having to work on the fly to have to figure out, narrow down a strategy, figure out if they can be fast in some areas and faster in others, and then what exactly can they do to get around traffic or get around certain areas of the track and other drivers when they need to make those passes or there's golden opportunities to race out in a tight road lane, it gets to be a very tough ordeal and a very struggling ordeal to say the least, because you're just constantly just trying to see what works better than others and what works the best. And really, we've seen it so much too that even the best drivers can get caught off guard just running out of fuel or running out of tempo and not be able to gain back that momentum before it's too little too late. Even just now, you can see again, like maybe some of that experience that rubbed off from other series, other races, really being put to good use and being put to good effect here, like what the throttle Chantel Pottle is doing here. Again, we've seen her numerous times, and you've seen her as well, constantly on these big tracks, and it seems like she really plays better into the big tracks, all things considered. It's hard to really argue it because in reality, she's just basically just doing what she needs to do and what she's been having to deal with tough other competition with guys and gals that have literally been ranking up into pro series level of racers. So she's had to really learn a thing or two while at the same time motivating herself to strategize everything rather than trying to be the fastest that everyone else is. If I said it once, I'll always say it again. On dirt, you can be quick and fast if you know how to hold your line and watch and get around lap traffic. On the short tracks, same ordeal. You got to learn how to be patient but be smart. On these big tracks, it's all about tempo. If you can find the tempo, if you can find the line and find the time, you will be unbeatable on these circuits because really you're just constantly setting the bar and setting it to where they are having a harder time trying to catch up back with you and then finding themselves in a bigger rut than they may have appeared. Only 40 laps now remain. Will anybody be able to figure out how to get this dial down here? We shall see. Riley Potter right now in the 99. Look at this youngster, man. I know I've talked enough about it today, but it just can't be understated. He's only 3 laps down here right now, guys. Like, he's actually, for what he is doing, his age and everything, he is doing a tremendous job just kind of staying focused and keep himself out of trouble. As I almost gave him the old announcer's curse, the broadcaster sabotage, if someone liked to say it one time. And then again, I guess there was an old friend of ours that used to say problems on the track a lot more often than not. I could definitely say Riley having a few of those there off of turn number 4, but he's still rolling. He's kept his momentum alive. He's kept it good. And David Martin right now, he's trying to figure it out too in that 53. He's keeping up pace though, but he is a lap down for Riley right now. We'll see which of those two can outsmart the other and keep themselves in play here for the long-term game. So the throttle Pottle right now, she is just completely put this one into her books and put her in her position. And again, there's a good reason too, folks. You got to study just what she's doing. If you've noticed, she's not been overdriving it. She's not been over throttling. She's not been trying to oversteer it. All she's been doing is just continuing to hit the mark. She's following her line and making sure she does constantly hit it. Doesn't make that mistake, although there was a little bit of a bobble there, getting onto the yellow line there, a bit of a mistake there, but stays one step in control, one step ahead of problems, and staying focused directly only on what she needs to here. And that, again, is what's given her so much good gracious and good luck here without using and torturing herself in there. Stage caution is coming out, though, so that will give us a little bit of an opportunity to see what comes down from there. So stage caution out on the track right now here, folks, as we're going to get squared up here and get ready for the next part of the run. And strap yourselves in, folks. We are going to be halfway through and now ready to halfway nail down the rest. rolling down around the track. Opportunity at a boiling point here. Rolling back down on the front straightaway here. A good number of the drivers are going to try to get their lap back, while the rest will try to figure out just how to tame the speed and the control and nail down the track. Green flag back on out here in Sparta. Another strong start by the throttle. And even Andrew Ziegler also now being given a golden chance here to try to fight back here a little bit. Tire strategy and fuel mileage now being put to good use. Some drivers deciding to opt to take only right sides, some going for none from that last pit stop. But I've said it once and I'll say it again. It really does not matter too much in terms of what you do. It's a matter of how do you use it. Do you stay focused on your lane choices and do you stay focused on your drive, or do you decide to go certain areas in certain ways here? Andrew Ziegler right now up on the outside. Austin Ziegler a lap down. And again, I guarantee those Ziegler boys will fight hard here. Austin does not want to be a lap down if he can avoid it. Pulling back the curtain and pulling the 12 away. Now it looks like he's looking to try to use him as an advantage here. Use that draft line. Maybe try to catch up to that number 05 and try to make this gap shorten up a bit. That can make the difference here. One thing I'm very curious about, though, again, these drivers, if you're wondering as well at home, folks, they're running a 550 horsepower package on these trucks at all tracks and all races. So it may not seem like much, but really what gives them a great advantage that they could use in so many ways here is that when they get into that draft, it's almost like they are in now the tunnel. And I always say this because this is extremely important. The tunnel to many of us, as well as a lot of other drivers out there, is literally where you're looking for all that momentum and all that drive off. As we got a 3 wide salute coming off of turn number 4 there for a brief moment. Ricky DeRozier and Brent Thompson going quite hard into the throttle, nailing down and around on that inside round of the out of the 12. Andrew Ziegler right now just probably looking on, realizing, man, that one might not have been my best choice to have to fight off with here. I was just about to say just a second ago, you use that draft line, that tunnel is literally almost like the perfect blend of speed and proficiency, and allows drivers to actually pretty much make the dirty airflow just become the smoothest thing ever, because that clean air is being traveled through between that draft line and between everyone else. If the more you get of it too, the better you are. Austin Ziegler right now is trying to make his move around the throttle. Chantal Bottle, she is dealing with him on the inside. She is currently on the outside, pushed into a lane she probably did not really want to be in all that much. Austin makes his pass. He'll get around lap traffic, and now he's back on the lead lap, but will the throttle decide to take that plane back away from him, or will she use the draft line to her advantage here? We'll have to see right now, because at the moment it looks like dirty airflow or maybe some pushback from that 9 is starting to kind of catch the 05 off guard. Ricky DeRozier is now seeing an opening here. Again, if I am that 05 right now, I am not going to be going trying to fight with that lap car. But unfortunately, if that lap truck is giving problems, then that's where you really got to watch out. Can't be slowed down by anything or anyone. You've literally got to just be dead on the mark and dead on the stick, just trying to nail down everything around these parts of the turn. DeRozier seeing that as well. He's right behind the 05 looking for a runoff. And again, you can see right there, there's the tunnel I was talking about earlier. It's kind of like in Talladega or Daytona. We always kind of use the choo-choo draft train. We always kind of make that little joke on this show here. As a big pass there from Andrew Ziegler, the number 12, making his run off there, coming right back into the lane and right back on the shot. He is coming quick here, folks. And Pottle knows it too. She's not gonna deal with Austin no more. She's had enough. trying to get back around, trying to get one step ahead. Ricky DeRozier is also in this hunt. You got a 3-truck battle for that race lead right now. The 11, the 12, and the 05, all three in the hunt with just 25 laps remaining this time by. That stage caution may have done a number on him. It may have kind of pushed him up a bit. Austin going a little bit high, coming back down a little bit too. As the 05, oh, gets split right into a bad spot coming down off the lane. Oh my. Caution out on the track. Huge hit for the 05 as she gets completely derailed right out of the gate. Oh my goodness. We'll have to take a look at the replay. Hard to tell from that angle, but you saw Austin. He was way high, and then he looked like he just came straight down. But did the 05 come up with him? Lap traffic yet again, though, causing an issue and causing a situation problem there. And once more, a nasty tumble there. We're going to take a look at the replay. See, we got a good view from the 05's vantage point. All right, right there. Yep. All right, so it looks like both drivers actually came down and around. Looking at it carefully, you can see the 05 again. She was setting up the turn. You got to remember this, folks. She was setting up that turn. But the 9 of Ziegler, again, he's trying to stay off the wall because that dog leg. That dog leg is what we were talking about earlier. It shoots up pretty quick and it comes pretty fast. And it'll get your truck into the wall if you're not careful. And unfortunately, Chantel just finding herself in the worst possible predicament. A terrible wreck there. And unfortunately, nothing they can do about it. That massive little slam into the wall there. A right hook on the 05 from the 9 into the turn number 1 off the dogleg section of the turn. We'll see if that instant repair is just enough for the throttle to get back in this fight. She's not a lap down. Thompson and Corley still are, as well as Riley and Martin, both 3 and 6 laps down respectively. But almost literally given a gift from the racing gods, the GoPro number 11. That Ricky DeRozier is going to find himself in a very unique situation. Here they come off turn number 4 in the front stretch. Now green flag back out here in Sparta to finish this one up. We got 21 laps needing to be completed. Which driver right now is going to get the better of the other? Which one will be able to keep themselves in the centerpiece? The Zieglers, Austin and Andrew right now, they're going in a heated fight and a heated battle trying to get up there around DeRozier. DeRozier, I've seen this driver and I've raced with him quite a few times before. We know how tough he is. I tell you, he's definitely got a lot of power and speed under that hood. He's going to make sure he holds that lane down. But I do question, is he going to be able to figure out the long-term strategy? He's very clever on the short term, but he's in a very tight predicament right now. And just like we said a minute ago, that throttle Chantel bottle, there's one thing you don't want to do is make the lady mad anytime, no matter whether it's your lady or another lady. But let's just say that throttle is right now steaming inside that cockpit. I guarantee you some of these drivers may want to avoid trying to do anything too crazy to her right now. But that's always something I said before. I've noticed a lot of times if driver gets mad or frustrated, there's like two ways it can go. It can either put them into serious, and a bit of a zone there. Speaking of a serious zone, going wide down the bottom and then all of a sudden shooting back up. No idea what happened there with Doyle Boyd, but my word, Came right up there into the 05's lane, and next thing you know, took a little tag on the side. Pottle okay, but she probably got her cage rattled a little bit in there. I guarantee you that much. I was just gonna say a second ago, when you are literally put in that predicament, that situation, it's almost like something just triggers. It's like a little piece in your fragment of your mind that you just all of a sudden you feel just come straight alive and into your zone, and it just pushes you into this next dimension of clarity and conscience racing. It's like almost nothing else matters. You're just so focused and put into that position, knowing what you can do and where to get it from. Is that where the 05 is mentally right now? Is she feeling the pace? Is she feeling that kind of line and that kind of run here? Ricky DeRosa right now currently still holding the race lead. There is Austin Ziegler. There, the number 9 now, Auto Parts Machine, just barely ahead of Doyle Boyd. And then at 05 of Chantal Powell trying to catch back up as well. Austin Ziegler right now in the 12 and DeRosa right now doing what they can. Trying to steam through this field, trying to get their line in and trying to get their laps down. Remember, laps are cooking away. They only have 14 to 15 laps of fuel. That's going to truly make a difference here. They're going to have to go into pit road. That will slow everybody up, and that will give a golden opportunity for one of these drivers to get the better of the other. My question ultimately is, as always, which one will get figured out quicker rather than less than the other? Around the field right now, 13 now laps need to be complete, or excuse me, yeah, 13 laps need to be completed left here. Here's a good side-by-side battle again there. After getting her cage rattled a bit there and trying to get back into this fight. Now the number 05 has made her way around the 001 of Doyle Boyd. Joshua Fix, the number 83, not far behind either. Left to go. God, how many of these drivers are feeling the patience level wearing thin? How much of them are feeling just that all-around situation just starting to creep in? Are they starting to feel fatigued? Are they starting to feel the adrenaline kick up a notch, knowing that that pit stop, this final one, could make the difference in this finale? Finale of a finish in the race, I should say. DeRosa right now looks like he's going to set up his pit stop there. He's getting down really low here. Andrew Ziegler also looking on. Will he go? Yes, he will. What will the throttle do? She stays out. Paul's going to stay out here. DeRosa and Ziegler are going to go into pit road. Fix going to try to skin the cat as well, looking for a little bit of a shot in the dark here. And little problems down there. It looks like DeRosa, he had problems getting to pit road again. spins it slightly, entering in, and he's lost all that ground and momentum again. It seems as though the racing god's not playing favorably to him. That is the second time today. He has literally found himself in that position and in that circumstance, and my word. Pit stop now for the 05. Pato gonna go in. Well, she knows what the strategy is going down right now. Andrew Ziegler has gone for a full set of tires. DeRozier, same situation, full set for him. Thompson trying to get his lap back and trying to get back in this fight, but he's gonna have to go to pit road at some point here. Out now, Joshua Fix gonna stay out one more lap. Let's see if he can kind of get himself a golden opportunity here as they'll push their way around off the track yet again. Here they come. Pottle right now in a very tough ordeal here. Got to deal with Andrew Ziegler on 4 sets, Austin Ziegler on 4 sets. Everybody's going to be hunting her down, and Fix as well. Joshua Fix is your leader. And you can see that gap narrowed down in quick and narrowed up pretty substantially here. Fix knows that they're coming. He got out of pit road quick and got out on the right time. Now does he have enough time to kind of stay one step ahead? Right now at the moment, I don't see it happening. I just see him throwing a little too slow right now. I feel like he's a little too off the pace, a little too off the marker. Needs to kick it quicker and needs to get faster if he wants any chance here to really rally up the track. We're coming up on our final 5 laps. Pottle coming up quick. Ziegler, Andrew, and Austin, that is. Both of them hunting quick. They're trying to get the draft line to work with them there. They're trying to create the tunnel, the train, if you will. Back with only 5 laps left to go. It is do or die time for these drivers. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is sitting down right now watching this one on. Will Pottle catch Fix? Will Fix try to block? And is that going to be enough to slow down enough for Andrew and Austin Ziegler to get back into this fight? Pottle is now right there with him. Going down, caves up tight, went down low. The crossover is engaged. Pottle gets the run, got him right on the outside, down back in, and now makes it work. New leader with 4 to go. Fix knew what he was in. He knew what he was in trouble with. Only one thing was on his mind, and that was literally just try and survive. That did not work well. But did it slow down the throttle enough to have to make that move with 3 to go to give the 4 tire sets a better run than 2 tires? We've seen the strategies play out before. 4 tires can do better than 2. Is it enough for the 05 to hang on just long enough? Rolling it back through is Andrew Ziegler making his charge on the inside lane. Got a good drive off there from Joshua Fix. 2 laps remain in this hunt. Andrew and Austin, my opinion, they are too far away. But again, Pottle could make the mistake. She needs to stay focused, not worry about those other 2. She needs to focus on only herself and just herself. Don't let that gap fool her. Keep the pressure on. Keep the momentum up. Don't let off and don't get comfortable. Here we go now to the VB Racing and Workman Outdoors White Flag Lap presented by them for Palmetto Racing League. Big gap there you see once more. Andrew just doing everything he can to get around to that throttle Chantel Pottle. She needs 2 more good turns. 3 and 4 is her Achilles heel. Can she nail this one? Down into turn 3. Gap not changed. Actually grew. Needs a good exit off 4. Solid as can be. Steals it to the end. It's going to be the throttle. Chantel Battle take it into victory lane here in Kentucky. Wow, what a performance, folks. Oh my goodness. What an absolute fight out, knockout, strangle it, bring it down on the round performance. And how about this, folks? A lot of great finishers and a lot of good runners in this one finishing it. But what a performance there from the 0-5. Gets put into a bad spot, gets taken for a bit of a ride, but enough long time to hang on. And now with this, she is your new points leader for Palmetto Racing League. The spot Aaron Vogt held on for so long, he's now lost it. The throttle is your new points leader. Results, race fans. The throttle, Chantel Pato bringing it for her pedal metal team. What a performance there, and just absolutely taking it to the line. Andrew Ziegler going to go second. Third's going to go to Austin Ziegler. Fourth's going to go to Doyle Boyd. Fifth to Joshua Fix. Sixth to Ricky DeRoger. Seventh to Brent Thompson. Eighth to Matthew Corley. And how about this? Ninth place for the 99. Riley Pottle, his best finish so far in this season run. And David Martin, not to be outdone, getting a top 10 for his troubles. Well, nevertheless, race fans, that will all but do it here in Sparta, Kentucky. What a performance and a great race there from everybody involved. Short run and long run being put to the absolute test tonight. What will these drivers be put to next? We shall soon see. But until then, from all of us here at Speed Zone TV, we hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning on in here to Palmetto Racing League show. We will see you guys next time when the green flag flies.